to another episode of your favorite show on YouTube, the Slightly Biased Show. I'm your host, Connolly, joined by nobody. By myself, okay? Brett is dealing with car issues, something I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. So hopefully he gets all of that stuff figured out. Hopefully it all works out for him, and he'll be back as quickly as possible. And we're going to get straight into these Week 3 picks, okay? That's what you all came here for, and that's what I'm here to give to you. Before we do that, just want to say, subscribe to the channel, man. We're on the quest to 1 million subs. We're getting closer and closer each day. So help us in that journey to 1 million subs. We're so close. So keep subscribing to the channel, guys, okay? Subscribe, like the video, comment. I mean, all of that stuff. You don't need me to give you the spiel, okay? I hate whenever YouTubers give me the spiel for 10 minutes. It's just get to it. Their whole video is the fucking intro telling you to subscribe to the channel. But subscribe to the channel, guys. If you like what we're doing, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Okay. Also, if you're listening on Spotify and iTunes, leave reviews, ratings, all that good stuff. Week 3 of the NFL season is upon us. But first and foremost, I have to start by saying one thing and one thing only. You guys will respect us. You guys will respect us when it comes to picking games. Okay? Last week, Brett and I both went 13-3. Should have gone 14-2. The Saints shit their pants. This is after going 10-6. Myself, week 1. Brett going 11-5, week 1. Very respectable stuff. You know, the best pickers on the platform. It's been that way now since the inception of the show a year ago. If you guys listen to us, you make a lot of money. Okay, I told you guys, take a second mortgage out on your home and bet on the Falcons. Oh wait, that one didn't work out, huh? Whoops. Just looking over the picks from last week, some of the games that I missed, me personally, Cincy versus Cleveland. I thought Cincy could maybe pull out a weird Thursday night game. Obviously, they couldn't. I don't feel bad about that pick, though. I picked the Falcons to beat the Cowboys, and I would make that pick 10 times out of 10 again. The Cowboys are pathetic. The Falcons win that game 999 times out of 1,000. What was it? Teams that score over 30-something points and don't turn the ball over are 440-0. So, sorry I'm not jumping up and down about that. And then I picked the Saints to beat the Raiders like everybody else did, and they looked horrific. Brett, what picked it? Because Brett picked the Bengals, and he picked the Vikings. He picked the Vikings to beat the Colts, and they looked pathetic. So, all in all, man, again, you guys are going to respect this. This week, Week 3 is brutal. Week 3 has some tough games, and it's tough to predict, man. And Brett went ahead and sent me his picks, so I have his picks locked in, so we go game by game. We will have my picks and his pick as well. I got a surprise for you guys. Man, again, this is the best channel on YouTube. You guys know, again, just want to say subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, okay? We're doing big on the quest for 10 million subscribers. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Just want to say that. So I have Brett's picks. We're going to go over them. We differ a lot this time. And it's a full slate of games, 16 games, so I'm not going to waste any more time. Let's just get right into it with the Week 3 Thursday night game. Again, NFL just wasting no time, huh? Just no time. They said after Week 1, Texans-Chiefs, pretty respectable Thursday night game. They said, all right, fuck it. The worst game of the week? Yeah, just put it on Thursday. On NFL Network. These games aren't even on Fox. I could have sworn these games are on Fox. Fuck was that? NFL Network. We're starting with Dolphins-Jaguars. If you're one of the 15 people who are going to be watching this game, we'll go ahead and predict it for you. Jaguars are letting 25% capacity into their stadium. I believe from Week 1 that's 16,000. I believe. I could be mistaken, but I think that's how much it is. And who's going to win this one? Most people are picking, from what I've seen, the Jags. They are a 3-point favorite, which doesn't shock me all that much. They've looked good so far. They've been competitive in each of their games. Their offense looks really good. But this is a tough one. Realistically, it is. I think the Jags aren't most people not a lot of people, but some people legitimately thought the Jags could have gone 0-16. They're going to compete, though, man. Minshew's going to keep them in games. Brett, watch this. Watch this right here. If you guys are on Spotify, you might want to come over to YouTube. Boom. Wait. Boom. Look at that. Brett picked the Jags. You know Brett is a big Minshew guy. He's a big Minshew believer. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to give my rationale for my picks, and if Brett and I's picks differ, I would give maybe what he is thinking. Because I'm going, look at this. Look how fucking bored I am, guys, that I took time out of my day to do this. I'm so stupid. I'm going with the Dolphins. I have really no reason other than Thursday night games are weird, and I could just see this being the game where the Dolphins get things going. Offensively, if this turns into a shootout, I am concerned. I think that the Jags are probably the better team offensively as it stands right now, which is kind of weird to say because you would think Dolphins with Fitz, they got Devontae Parker, who's been hurt, dealing with some stuff. They have Preston Williams. They have Mike Gesicki. Like, they have the better offense on paper, but the Jags' offense has looked good this season, legitimately. It's looked surprisingly good. I just don't I like what James Robinson for the Jags. He's kind of came out of nowhere with Fournette obviously leaving, and then who was it? Raquel Armstead. Was he hurt or did he have COVID? I don't remember. He got hurt and was placed on the IR, and Chris Thompson hasn't really had the impact that people thought he would have going into the season. And, James Robinson stepped up and has looked really solid, like a legitimate starting running back in the NFL. If this turns into a shootout, I don't think I like the Dolphins' chances, truth be told, just because I think Minshew wills them a little bit more than Fitzmagic would. But this kind of feels like a game, Thursday night, weird, ugly game where Fitzmagic would just go off, against a bad Jags defense. And the Dolphins' defense is pretty bad too, and especially I think Byron Jones is doubtful. At least as I'm recording this, there's been no news about Byron Jones other than that he is doubtful. So that scares me a little bit. But the main reason why I'm picking the Dolphins is Mike Gesicki. Mike Gesicki or Gesicki? I don't remember which one it was, but I remember somebody made a big deal about it. But I think it's Gesicki. I could be wrong. But the Jags defense gave up 80 yards, 2 touchdowns to Jonnu Smith last week. Jack Doyle got hurt, I believe, week 1 during their game against the Colts. But him and Mo Alley Cox combined to put up, I think it was like 60 or 70 yards. So this Jags defense is susceptible to getting hurt by the tight end. And last week, the Dolphins did a really good job of implementing Gesicki into their offense a little bit more. He had a kind of a quiet week 1, but he went out and put up big time numbers in week 2, and they gave the ball to him a bunch. 14. Oh wait, no, I'm reading the wrong thing. 11 targets for Gesicki, 8 catches, 130 yards, and a touchdown last week against a tough Bills defense. So I think that the Dolphins make it a point of emphasis to get him involved, and if that's the case, I don't know if anybody on the Jags can really stop them. That's sort of my rationale. That's why I'm picking the Dolphins. Could go both ways. I'm not entirely sure. I picked the Dolphins. Brett picked the Jags. I think most people I've seen are picking the Jags, but the Dolphins I think are a better team, just talent-wise on paper. The Jags are a scarier offense, a little bit more potent. So if this turns into a shootout, I don't like the Dolphins' chances, but all in all, I think the Dolphins sort of control the game going to Gesicki, and, Gaskins looked pretty good too. He's been one of the bigger shocks. I think a lot of people thought you go out and you get Jordan Howard and you go out and you get Matt Breida, that those guys are going to be the ones who carry the load for you. But it's been Myles Gaskin, and he's looked good. He's looked good so far. So I have the Dolphins. Brett has the Jaguars for the opening game of the week. What's the next game? Why isn't this up? The Bears and the Falcons facing off, 12 o'clock game. The Falcons coming off of maybe the worst loss you'll ever see. Maybe the worst loss you will ever see. Absolutely embarrassing. Their defense looks like one of the worst defenses in the NFL. They've been torched every game they have played so far. The Bears are coming in, surprising 2-0 team. A surprising 2-0 team. You look at their schedule. I mean, it's not like they played the Lions and they played the Giants. So it's not like they're going up against, the league's elite or anything like that. But they are 2-0, so you have to put some respect on their name. This is kind of spooking me out a tiny bit, to be honest with you, because obviously the Falcons look like an embarrassment. They're 0-2, but they are favorites. I think they're a 3-point favorite. And most experts that I've seen are picking them to win. So that spooks me a little bit. But I am also going to go ahead and pick the Falcons. Drag my little head right there. I am picking the Falcons, and I believe, let me pull this up. I said I would have this already, and I lied to you all. I believe that Brett also has the Falcons, and he does. It's tough picking them. I mean, really it is. But it's just defensively, the Bears really aren't what they used to be. They've looked decent at times, but if this turns into a shootout, which it very well could, or at least the Falcons could put up points, do we trust that Mitch Trubisky, who has looked improved, but like I said in my Power Rankings video, if you guys watch that, he looks like he's gone from being the worst quarterback in the NFL to like a bottom 5. Okay, he's not like just lighting the world on fire. The bar is so tremendously low for Trubisky that we'll just say anything looks good. Like anything other than shit looks good. Because I think he's played like 2 good quarters of football so far. And don't kill me, Bears fans, because the Bears fans are so divided. There's 50% of them who, it seems like, just from what I can gather on Twitter, like 50% of Bears fans want them to lose so they can just cut their losses with Trubisky and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. While the other half are like Mitchell Trubisky defenders and are like, hoping that he does well and so they can extend him. Trust me, guys, that's not what you want, okay? Extending Mitchell Trubisky would be a catastrophic disaster for many, many different reasons for the Bears. But if this turns into a shootout, I don't think that Mitch can keep up. Even though the Falcons' defense is atrocious, I just can't really see them keeping up. And that's even with Julio being a little uncertain. As I'm recording this on Wednesday afternoon. So I don't know what his status is. I don't know if he's going to end up missing the game. Obviously, him being there makes me more confident in my Falcons pick because then you have to shift your attention to Julio, and then you have Calvin Ridley, who looks like a superstar in this league. Probably would be the number 1 wide receiver on all but like maybe 6 or 7 teams in the NFL. You have Russell Gage, who's been a nightmare out of the slot. You have Hayden Hurst, who they started to get involved a lot more against the Cowboys on Sunday. I just don't know if offensively the Bears can keep up. I just don't know. And also, remember, Dan Quinn, people want him gone. He probably deserves to be gone. But last year, around their bye week, what were they, like 2-6 or something? No, I think like 1-6 or something like that. And then they went 8-2. I don't know. That's just a guess. After their bye week, after it seemed like Dan Quinn was for sure going to be gone. So are they going to come out and fight for him? Fight for him to help him keep his job? That remains to be seen. I'm going to go with the Falcons. I'm not confident in it. I will never. I picked the Falcons to win every game so far this season. So maybe I'm a curse. I don't know. But I'm going with the Falcons. Brett is also going with the Falcons. Next game up is the Rams and the Bills. 2-0 matchup. This is a really good matchup this week. Both of these teams, obviously 2-0. I think most people expected the Bills to be here. I don't know if many people expected the Rams to be here. And Brett has Buffalo winning this game. Brett really likes Buffalo. He does. He didn't pick them to make the playoffs, but I think he said that he would rectify that if he had the chance to redo his playoff rankings. As you can see by the rankings, man, number 3 offense. I'm pretty sure Josh Allen leads the league in passing, and the number 5 defense. So they're coming at you with a balanced attack. Stephon Diggs has completely changed the way this offense looks. And we talked about on this show before that John Brown is like the perfect number 2 option. So if they ever got a number 1, their offense would look incredibly scary. They did. They went out and got Stephon Diggs, and now John Brown is going out and reaping the benefits of being a number 2. Stephon Diggs is going out and reaping the benefits of actually being implemented into a game plan. Their defense looks as good as advertised. Their running game, Josh Allen looks amazing running the ball. Devin Singletary, limited touches, but has looked good as well. Zach Moss has looked okay. Zach Moss has looked okay. I always buy into these rookie running back hype, always, all the time. Let me see what the deal with fans is, actually. Okay, no spectators in this game. I have this pulled up as well, just to make sure that, because there is, that does make a difference. That does make a difference. Sometimes, even if it's minimal amount of fans, it can make a little bit of an impact. So Brett's got the Bills. I am actually going with the Rams. I think the Rams look really solid. I picked them to make the playoffs going into the season. Remember, man, they went to the Super Bowl 2 years ago. They went 9-7 last year. It's not like this is like a really bad team that people are shocked that they're playing this well. Offensively, it kind of looks, I talked about this, I think in my power rankings, it looks like McVay is back in his bag a little bit. He's looked like he's got his swagger back a little bit. He's running a lot of motion plays. They're keeping defenses, super confused. Lots of screen plays, lots of short passes. Robert Woods looks amazing so far. Higbee, what do you have? 3 touchdowns last week. That's scary. Running, they've done a fantastic job of running the ball so far. Their offensive line has looked better than most people expected. What was it? Malcolm Brown went off week 1, and then last week was Darrell Henderson. And I think Malcolm Brown's hurt or Darrell Henderson hurt. One of them got hurt. 1 million people are hurt in the NFL, so it's hard to keep track. Cam Akers is hurt as well. I just think that, I don't know, this is a really tough matchup. This one was one of the most difficult ones of the week to pick for me. I don't hate the Bills at all. I think the Bills are an amazingly good team. I 100% could see them winning this game. I just don't know if I had to pick one team that's going to make a mistake, right? If this all came down to what team makes that one critical mistake, I might go the Bills. I just might. Josh Allen, he's been incredible this year. Top 3 quarterback this year so far, probably. But could I see him maybe fumbling? Yeah. Could I see him maybe throwing a pick at a crucial point? Yeah. Could I see Goff? Yeah, easily. But the Rams, the way that they're running their offense this year, it's really not putting Goff in these positions where he could throw a pick. This is a tough one, man. I really don't know. Ramsey will be on Diggs, assumingly. So that's going to be a fun matchup to watch. Ooh, this is a fun one. This is probably the premier 12 o'clock game. No, it's definitely the premier 12 o'clock game to watch. I know, people just don't care about the Rams. I've said it a million times, man. Nobody really cares about LA football. It sucks. I know the Bills have a ravenous fan base. But outside of, I guess, do people inside of LA even care? I don't know. But this Rams team is pretty exciting. I think that they could be kind of a dark horse team, again, which is crazy to say because they were in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. But they're a dark horse team in the NFC right now to come out of the conference. That's how impressed I've been with them so far. And we'll see if they can keep that up on Sunday against the Bills. I personally think that they win, but I'm not super confident in anything. The Bills are only a 2-point favorite. Over/under on this is 47. I could see this game going to. I could see this game kind of being a shootout, and I could also see this game being a defensive slugfest because both these teams do have good defenses. I think the Bills, if it does turn into a defensive slugfest, I like the Bills more just because their defense is better. But we'll see. It's going to be a fun one to watch. The premier 12 o'clock game, no doubt about it. Next up, we have not the premier 12 o'clock game. That is Washington football team and the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns, fresh off their first win of the season, beating the Bengals handily on Thursday Night Football last week. The football team, fresh off their first loss of the season. This is kind of a snooze fest, to be honest with you. Brett has the Cleveland Browns winning, and I believe I do as well. No, I don't. I have football team winning. Really? Do I really? Did I fuck that up? No, I have football team winning. This just seems like a contrarian thing to me. I'm trying to think about why I have this. It just seems contrarian. In fact, it doesn't seem right. I have the Browns winning. Or let me see. Let me try to justify real quick why Washington. Let me try to talk myself into picking football team. Amazing defensive line. Can they get pressure on Baker and force him to make mistakes? The offense looked really, really good on Thursday. They were playing into their strengths. They were getting the ball out quickly. They were letting Kareem work. They were letting Nick Chubb work. I think that they probably could do that again this upcoming week against football team. Again, a really good defensive line. Secondary, suspect. The football team lost one of their best offensive linemen. Sorry. And, I'm picking the Browns. I must have had a mistake here. I'm picking the Browns. I don't like that Washington offense, man. I just don't like that Washington offense enough. It's not necessarily all 100% on Haskins, but the pieces just aren't there. I love Terry McLaurin. I think Terry McLaurin is wide receiver 1 in this league. I think that he's like a Pro Bowl type player. I don't know if I'd say superstar, but a Pro Bowl caliber player. But the pieces besides that are just not there for Haskins. And I could see the Browns, not necessarily putting up a lot of points because I think this is a better defense, football team's defense is than the Bengals. But, I could see them scoring a few times. I could see them milking the clock a little bit with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Can Washington offensively keep in it, Keep in it if Cleveland does put up some points. I don't really feel confident in that. I'm taking the Browns, as is Brett. I'm going to hate myself if Washington wins. I am. I'm trying to think. Did I actually... Holy shit. What the fuck was that? Did I actually pick Washington? Or is that just a mistake? I don't know. But I'm rocking with Cleveland. All right, so let's just pretend that didn't happen. Next up, we have a sneaky good game, maybe, depending on what Vikings team we get. That is Tennessee and Minnesota. Tennessee 2-0. They haven't really looked all that impressive, truth be told, going up against Vikings, who are 0-2. And if you watch my Power Rankings video, I had them at the 31 spot. Second worst team in the league. That is just how they have looked so far. Okay? Obviously, if you factor in expectations before the season and where we expect this team to be, they're not 31. But that they have just looked that bad. I mean, look at these rankings. Offensively, these rankings are by yards, by the way, which I know is flawed. But that's just the way I have it. They have the 30th ranked offense and the 29th ranked defense. So both sides of the ball has been atrocious. Granted, they played the Packers in week 1, who looked unstoppable, and they played a good Colts team. I know the Colts lost to the Jags in week 1, but the Colts are going to be a good team. So factor that in, but it's just the fact that they've just looked like shit. It's not like they haven't been competitive. They've looked terrible. Could I see them sneaking out a win here? Yeah, I could. I honestly could. I could see them pulling out a win here this week against Tennessee, but they just let Jonathan Taylor run all over them last week. Week 1, Aaron Jones did his thing, but obviously their secondary got torched. Ryan Tannehill is looking the best he's ever looked. Obviously, no A.J. Brown hurts, but Corey Davis is looking really good. Jonnu Smith is looking really good. And they still really haven't gotten Derrick Henry going to his full capabilities. I know he had over 100 yards week 1, but he had like 48 carries. That's an exaggeration, but it seemed that way. Can they get Derrick Henry going for real this upcoming week against the Vikings? I think probably. That's what I'm thinking. Brett and I both have Tennessee. It's just at this stage in the game, man, the Vikings, if they lose this week, you really got to start thinking that it might be over. It might be over. Their window, which we all thought was still open, looks like it could be closing at rapid speeds, which is unfortunate. But Kirk looks like shit. Their offensive line is not good. Defensively, they are just so young in the secondary, and it is just burning them, man. They're not good enough. Defensive line's not getting the pressure that we all kind of hoped that it would, or at least Vikings fans hoped that it would. I didn't give a shit, but Vikings fans hoped that it would. And it's just been rough, man. They miss Stephon Diggs. Like, look at what Stephon Diggs is doing in Buffalo. They miss that. They do. And then you drafted a guy to be his replacement in Justin Jefferson. Well, not his replacement, but you drafted another receiver to help out Thielen and Justin Jefferson, and he's barely playing. He's barely seen the field over B.C. Johnson. Justin Jefferson has 6 targets. They need to throw the ball more, too. I get you got a workhorse in Dalvin Cook, who hasn't looked that great so far this season, but you got a workhorse in Dalvin Cook. But, man, you throwing the ball 20 times last week, and then what was it, like? It was a disgusting amount. They threw the ball 26 times last week. Kirk went 11 of 26. Oh, my God. That is tough to see. A 9 QBR. There is no way in shit that I couldn't do that. I haven't played the quarterback position since 8th grade. I played 2 seasons. I didn't win a single game, and I never scored a touchdown, ever. And like 30 games started. There's no way I couldn't put up a better QBR than 9. There's no way. God, they look terrible, man. I feel very confident in my Tennessee pick. Could I see the Vikings winning it, though? Yeah, I could, actually. I could. But there's no way that I'm picking them to do it. Next up, we have a pretty good game, a sneaky good game. The Raiders and the Patriots in New England. I do not believe the fans are allowed. Let me double check here. New England. The Patriots are not allowing spectators through the month of September. So there you go. No fans will be in attendance. That's sort of the case for most of these games, by the way. The Raiders, fresh off of a shocking win on Monday night, opening up their Las Vegas tenure with a pretty dominant win over the Saints, truth be told. And the Patriots are fresh off of a heartbreaking loss against Seattle. In Seattle, a really good, entertaining game. They impressed. It's one of those games where obviously you want to win, and losing hurts. But it's one of those games where as a fan you leave, excited about your team and hopeful that your team can, continue to play at that level throughout the season. Because if the Patriots play at that level, they'll win most of their games. The Seahawks are just an amazingly good team, and Russ looked unstoppable that night. But they take on a sneaky good Vegas team who looked really good offensively against the Saints, kind of did whatever they wanted to do. Darren Waller looked amazing. Josh Jacobs has looked really good so far, and Derek Carr really has not looked that bad. Can they pull off the upset and beat New England? I think that this is going to be a close game. I really do. I think that this is a tough one to pick just because the Raiders seem to always pull out like an early season upset win on the road. What was it? Last season it was the Vikings, wasn't it? I don't know if that was around week 3, week 4 last year. They went to Minnesota and beat the Vikings. Obviously, they already kind of got that against the Saints. But them going into New England and beating the Pats is something that would not shock me. But I think I'm going to pick the Patriots. I think Brett is picking the Patriots as well. I just think that they're a really good team. It's really nothing against the Raiders. I think that the Raiders are more than capable of winning this game. I think the Raiders are more than capable of being a playoff team and competing with anybody. Not that I'm not saying that they're Super Bowl contenders or anything, but they'll play anybody hard. But I just think that the Patriots might be a little too much. Defensively, the Raiders are not very good. I think Cam probably takes advantage of that. Drew Brees looked like shit on Monday night, and I think a lot of that had to do more with Drew Brees than the defense. No offense to the defense. They did their thing, obviously, but can Cam Newton continue his MVP level of play? Because that's what he's been providing so far. His MVP caliber play at the quarterback position. Defensively, I think they're probably going to throw stuff at Vegas. That the Saints, who looked just atrocious on defense on Monday night, just absolutely horrible. I think that the Patriots will throw stuff at Derek Carr, at Gruden, at this offense that the the Saints were not capable of doing. I will say I don't really like this Patriots run defense all that much. So that concerns me a little bit with Josh Jacobs looking as good as he has looked so far this season. But I think the Patriots pull this one out. I think that they have the coaching advantage. Although Gruden has, proven that he's still one of the top coaches in this league. And they have the quarterback advantage, even though Derek Carr has looked pretty good so far. I think that they have a pretty significant defensive advantage, even though they're missing a lot of guys, and even though they got absolutely torched by Russ on Sunday night. And I just think that they're, as of right now, the better team. So I'm rocking with the Patriots. Brett is also rocking with the Patriots. Wouldn't shock me if Vegas won, though. And, I really like Vegas. Brett likes Vegas, too. So we'll see. Next up, we have the 49ers and the Giants. San Fran just decided, fuck it, we'll stay in New York. And we'll stay in New York for the week. They played in New Jersey. Or they didn't play in New Jersey. They played New Jersey, the Jets, last week. They played the Giants this week. They just decided to stay in New York for the week. I'm sure they cannot wait to get the hell out of New York. That field seems like a nightmare. Oh, man, it was such a bloodbath, that Jets game. I don't even know who is suiting up for this 49ers team. They are so hurt. What's the deal? Hold on, let me look. What's the deal with Jimmy G? I probably should have looked at this before the show. But what's going on with him? Misses practice. So he missed practice today. Again, this is Wednesday. I'm recording this Wednesday afternoon, so there might be updates that happen after I post this. But if Jimmy G cannot go, that makes things a little interesting, truth be told, because obviously they're already so hurt that losing their starting quarterback is going to hurt a little bit. But Nick Mullins came in and looked pretty good last week. Right? Did Nick Mullins come in, or was it CJ Beathard? I'm pretty sure it was Mullins. Yeah, it was Mullins. Mullins came in last week, and I've seen a sect of 49ers Twitter. They exist. Trust me, I've seen it. Who believe that Nick Mullins is better than Jimmy G? I have seen it. I have seen people who have said that, unironically too. Obviously, you're crazy. No way is Nick Mullins better than Jimmy G. Maybe if you want to make the argument that Nick Mullins in his whatever his contract is, probably like $3 million, is better value than Jimmy G's. Okay, but he's not the better player. He's not the better player, and I'm really not even a big Jimmy G guy, but he's just not a better player. As far as this game goes, this game is actually a little spooky. I think this is actually one of the spookier games of the week, just because the 49ers are so beat up, and I'm already not that impressed with them, but I just don't like this Giants team, man. Even with all of the injuries on the defensive side of the ball, which are plenty for the 49ers, I don't see the Giants, who have just looked like one of the worst teams offensively in football so far, I don't see them mustering up enough points to upset the 49ers, even with all of their injuries. And then on the flip side of the ball, I don't like the Giants' defense. I don't think their run defense is very good. And even without Mostert, I think that the 49ers and Shanahan are going to just run all over this Giants defense. That's just what I envision happening. If the Giants had looked a little bit more competitive or a little bit more competent offensively so far, because now Saquon's out for the season with an ACL, right? And now Sterling Shepard just got put on the IR today. That guy can never, ever stay healthy. I feel bad for him. I feel bad for Daniel Jones. I just don't. Again, if they had looked a little bit more competitive and a little bit more competent on offense, I could very well see myself picking them to upset the Niners. But I just think even with all of the injuries that the Niners come away with this one, Brett picked them as well. So we both have San Francisco winning against the Giants. I mean, not a crazy pick, obviously. Okay, next up we have the Cincinnati Bengals and the Philadelphia Eagles in Philly. Both of these teams 0-2. Eagles 0-2. They're 0-2, guys. They look really bad. Okay, and I'll just start by saying this. Brett is picking the Bengals to win, of course. Brett hates the Eagles. I don't think he's picked the Eagles yet. I think he did against the football team. And I am picking the Eagles. I think the Eagles get their first win here. Not convincingly or anything. I don't know if you buy into anything Max Kellerman says. I don't know how he would have this inside scoop. But if you do buy into things Max Kellerman says that there is a rift forming in that Eagles locker room between Carson Wentz and Doug Peterson. That's what he says. He says apparently Carson Wentz goes out and calls his own plays and tries to be the hero. And Doug obviously says, yo, I'm a Super Bowl coach. I'm a Super Bowl winning head coach. Do whatever the fuck I say. Do I think that that's true? I don't know how Max Kellerman could have gotten that scoop. I just don't. I don't know. Does Max Kellerman have people inside that locker room? I don't know. But I will say this. Let me get a sip of this coffee. You guys know I love shitting on the Eagles. I love shitting on Carson Wentz. And I'm a big believer when it comes to stuff like this. Where there's smoke, there is fire. And it's been, 3 straight years now? 4 straight years? When did they win the Super Bowl? 2017. So 3 straight years now of these reports that, it's been 2 years since the Super Bowl. So 2 straight years now of these reports that there's just some weird locker room shit with Carson Wentz and the rest of the team. And we can all, each time one of these reports come out, everyone's like, oh, that's bullshit. It's bullshit. How would they know? But it's reaching the point now where it seems like every week there is some report. The Eagles have built a statue of Nick Foles in the locker room. Nick Foles isn't even on the team anymore. The Eagles, an anonymous source in the Eagles says Carson Wentz just isn't it. That he's not a real competitor and that he's not trying to help the team win. Remember that one? That was Alshon Jeffrey. Now these reports, Carson Wentz and Doug Peterson have a rift between each other. It's like, Jesus Christ, man. And then on top of that, Carson Wentz has looked terrible. He has looked terrible. And it's not like the Rams defense is good. Washington's defense is good up front, not a good secondary. So it's not like he's playing, the Steel Curtain or the 86 Bears, And the Bengals defense is one of the worst in the league. Young, improving, but still a bottom tier defense. I'm just thinking the Eagles win this one. I don't know. Both these teams are probably close in terms of talent, truth be told, and just in terms of quality of team. I see this kind of being an ugly one. This just feels like an Eagles win. We saw Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb just run all over this Bengals defense last week, and I really like Miles Sanders. And Miles Sanders did look good in his debut last week, his season debut. So do they lean on Miles Sanders? I think they should. They should not lean on Carson Wentz They should not lean on him because he is not a good player. He's just not. He's not a good quarterback. I don't care, okay? And I'm finally happy that most of the world is now seeing this, okay? Because us Cowboys fans have been telling you this for years, that Carson Wentz is just so massively overrated. And all we've heard in return has been, well, the eye test, dude. I don't give a fuck about the eye test, okay? You know what the eye test tells me? He's bad. You know what the eye test tells me when I look at his stats? Not good. You know what the eye test tells me whenever I watch him play? Not good. So what's the eye test exactly? I don't know. Maybe I'm not, a football guy enough to see it. Okay? So I'm picking the Eagles even after just shitting on them like that. I'm still picking them. I think that defensively they're better than the Bengals. So that's just what I'll lean on. They are 6-point favorites, which I think is high, but we'll see. I don't know if the Bengals can generate enough offense. So I'm rocking with the Eagles. Brett is rocking with the Bengals. I guarantee you Brett does not pick the Eagles one time this year. I wouldn't be surprised at all if that's the case. Next up, we have the 0-2 Texans going up against the 2-0 Steelers in Pittsburgh. The Texans, they've been a little disappointing so far. I know that they've had one of the toughest the toughest schedule in the league up until this point. But they just haven't looked competitive, man. They haven't looked good. If you saw my power ranking videos, I think I had the Texans at like 28 and the Steelers at 5. So that's a pretty big disparity. Brett is rocking with the Steelers. I don't know why. I'm going with the Texans. It's nothing more than a gut feeling. That's it. All it is a gut feeling. I just feel like the Texans come out ready to play. That's just really what it comes down to. I feel like the Steelers maybe take their foot off the gas a little bit. I don't know. This is just a gut feeling type of thing. There's really no analytical thing. There's no statistical thing. It's just a gut feeling thing. I think that maybe if the Texans really do have some dog in them, okay, I think that they view this as their opportunity to say, all right, we're getting shit on. We're getting embarrassed. We have not looked competitive. We're now going up against another really, really good team, probably a top 5, top 6, top 7 team in the NFL. So let's make a statement here and show everybody that, we're going to be competitors and we're going to be a playoff team at least. And I think that's what happens. But part of me is really scared that, obviously this Pittsburgh defense is probably the best in the NFL. Is Watson going to make it out of this game? Watson is going to be under siege the entire game. Their defense has looked terrible too. They miss Reader, man. They miss him a lot. They miss him probably more than they miss Hopkins. Is Big Ben, Juju, James Conner, who looked really good on Sunday, Deontay Johnson, who is a breakout superstar in the wings. I mean, this might be his year. Are they going to go the fuck off? Probably. Again, this is all a gut feeling. Like, everything is telling me to pick the Steelers, but I just think the Texans come in and get their first win of the season, and a bit of a shocker. And maybe they get everybody back to saying, okay, the Texans are pretty good. Also, Deshaun has not looked very good so far, and I know Deshaun does have some dog in him. So I'm thinking he might come out against a really good defense and make a statement. That's what I'm banking on. It has nothing to do with statistics. It has nothing to do with actual football stuff. It's just my gut feeling. And Brett obviously picked the Steelers, which is the right pick probably. And this is one of those games where I'm gonna just say why. Why did I pick them? There was no real reasoning. But that's what I'm rocking with. I got the Texans. Brett has the Steelers. Next up, we have the 3 o'clock games, the Jets and the Colts. I have a thing. I plan on spending no longer than 30 seconds for the rest of the season on Jets games. Brett has the Colts. I have the Colts. The Jets are just horrific. And do we need to explain? We don't. You don't need to explain why you're picking the Jets to lose. The Jets, they won't go 0-16, but who the fuck are you picking them to beat? There's no one. There's literally nobody in the NFL who I think is really even that close to as bad as the Jets are right now. Because at least some of these teams have been competitive. The Jets have just been not competitive and have looked terrible on both ends of the ball. You see that 32 offense? 32? All right, I'm reaching the 30-second mark. Get out of here, Jets. Get out of here, you embarrassment of a team. All right, next up we have the Panthers and the Chargers in L.A. Let me see what the fan situation is. I don't think that they're having any. I think that was sort of the thing, yeah. No spectators. This could be a bit of a spooky game, I think. This could be a bit of a spooky game. Brett is rocking with the Chargers, and I am as well. Obviously, this whole quarterback debacle is really weird. This whole situation is one that could blow up in disastrous ways. Obviously, the news coming out today that Tyrod Taylor got an injection. I think he had a cracked rib or something. He had some type of rib injury that he was already dealing with. The trainers said, "Yo, let's go in the locker room. We'll get you a pain injection to help with the pain." They went into the ribs, and the trainer punctured the lung. So Tyrod missed the game last minute. That's why it was so last minute. And now he is out for this game as well. And as of right now, I don't know what's going on with this, but it seems like a shit show is about to break out. It seems like a shit show. Lawsuits. I'm talking lawsuits. I'm talking people going to jail. No, I don't know about that part. I made that part up. Oh, man. But it sounds like a complete and total shit show. And I feel bad for Tyrod. And now it kind of makes sense why Anthony Lynn was so adamant about Tyrod getting his chance again. Man, what a shit show. And this is such a Chargers thing, too. There's always something weird going on there. Always something weird going on there. The team doctor punctured the lung accidentally. I mean, that's got to be a lawsuit, right? That has to be a lawsuit. Ooh, it's going to get ugly there, I think. So Justin Herbert is the starter again, and he looked good. I mean, for a rookie, thrust it into your first game, your first start, going up against the Chiefs, the Super Bowl champions from a year ago, and taking them to overtime. You had a bad pick, but other than that, I think that he played well, and he's going to get the chance again against a much worse defense in Carolina. Although the stats might not show it, this is, probably the worst defense on paper in the league. They are obviously super, super young. They spent every single draft pick they had on defense. So they're a young defense sort of trying to find their way. And, without McCaffrey. With McCaffrey, honest to God, I think I probably would have picked the Panthers. But no McCaffrey, I don't think Tyrod has looked very good so far this season. I do think this is a pretty fun offense. It's interesting to watch his team try to figure out, who they want to be. But without McCaffrey, I don't see them offensively scoring to their capability. I'd love to see DJ Moore get, a touchdown or something as a DJ Moore owner in fantasy. That would be really cool. And defensively, I know you see this ranked 15. It's not that good. I think that Eckler probably has a big game. I really, really like Joshua Kelly. He's looked really good so far. Him and Eckler, I think, have the same amount of touches out of the backfield. So if you're a Austin Eckler owner, obviously you don't the same amount of carries, not touches. I'm sorry, carries. Both of them with 35 carries, only 3.5 yards per carry, which isn't great, but I like what I've seen out of him so far. Definitely a big change of pace from Eckler. Sort of, he's obviously fitting into that Melvin Gordon role, and I just think the Chargers are a better team. The Chargers are a better team than the Panthers. The Panthers. It is what it is, man. They're a young team. They're a rebuilding team. This is obviously a transition year for them with the new coach, Cam gone, Teddy there as a stopgap. He's the bridge to the next young quarterback they're going to get in this upcoming draft. Will it be Trevor Lawrence? That would be fun, man. I think that this Panthers team is probably closer to competing than some of these other disastrous young teams. So we both have the Chargers. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Crazy that Tyrod Taylor situation is absolute fuckfest. How do you fuck up that bad? How do you puncture someone's lung? Seriously. This is off topic, but isn't it like the number 3 cause of death in the country medical malpractice? Isn't it like the number 3 cause of death, like fuck-ups from surgeons and doctors? I don't know if that was just some conspiracy-ass bullshit I saw, but if that's true, that I never want. I'm just, no thanks. I'd rather just play with the cracked rib than have my lung punctured by the team doctor. What a fuck-up. What a mess. All right, next up we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Denver Broncos. Denver, 0-2, unlucky start to the season, admittedly. Lots of injuries on Denver. It sounds like Drew Lock is not going to be playing. Cortland Sutton out for the season. Von Miller obviously hurt week 1, out for the season. So it's bad. It's bad. They're going up against the Bucs, who admittedly I thought they obviously looked like they were still trying to figure things out against the Saints. But outside of the pick six, the other pick, and then I think there was a botched kickoff, they really didn't look that bad, which is kind of crazy to say, obviously. Like, outside of all of those three major fuck-ups, they didn't look that bad. But really, they didn't. And then Carolina, they looked really good in the first half, and then they just ran into a brick wall in the second half until they were able to put the game away there in the end. But it sounds like Chris Godwin's going to be back, which is great news for me as a Chris Godwin owner in multiple leagues. It also sounds like, I don't know why I said that. I didn't mean it sounds like, but it looks like Leonard Fournette is finding his role and is probably going to start emerging as the lead guy there. Mike Evans, 2 touchdowns in 2 games. You like to see that. He was way more involved in the game against the Panthers. I think he only had 1 catch against the Saints, and it was that touchdown. And I don't know. The Bucs, they're a good team. I don't know if they're like the powerhouse dream team that everybody thought. I didn't even think that at all going into the season, and I loved this Bucs team last year. But I think people were way too quick to jump the gun on them. I think that they're a solid playoff team, but I don't know really what their ceiling is. But I think that they come in and take care of business here against the Broncos. Brett and I both think that. We both picked the Bucs. If the Broncos were healthier, this is an interesting game. But, man, they're just beat to hell right now. Them and the Niners are just reeling from injuries. And obviously without your starting quarterback, I don't hate Jeff Driscoll. I really don't. I really don't hate him. But and now I think Judy's hurt too. I don't know if his is like sort of just he's playing through an injury, but he might be hurt as well. Man, they're going through it. They're going through it. Lindsey's hurt too. They are just battling injuries. So we both have the Buccaneers and that one. When are these good games gonna? I thought that this was a better week. Next up, we have Detroit and Arizona. Detroit 0-2 has looked very disappointing. Arizona 2-0, one of the surprising teams in the league. Not necessarily that they're 2-0, because I picked them to beat the Niners week 1. Yeah. And then obviously they're a better team than Washington, but just the fact that how they've looked. They've looked so impressive. Offensively, we all kind of expected that, but defensively they looked really solid as well. I know that they haven't played like really any high-powered offenses. San Fran just sort of plays that weird, methodically slow game, and they weren't able to do it against Arizona. And then Washington is just not a good offense at all. They're one of the worst in the NFL. But, they've took care of business, and they've looked good defensively. On the other side, the Lions, I picked this team to make the playoffs, guys. I don't know what in the fuck I was thinking, man. What a disastrous pick already 2 weeks in. And I'm not fully ready to jump off the bandwagon, but I'm pretty much in. I pretty much am already. I think that this could be a juicy upset pick. I do. Kenny G sounds like he's coming back. Will make his season debut. Obviously, he's one of the best receivers in the NFL, so that changes that offense a little bit. But it all comes down to Kyler Murray's looked amazing. Nobody's been able to stop him from running the ball so far. The Niners and Washington are exponentially better defenses than Detroit. Do I think that genius head coach Matt Patricia is the one who stops Kyler Murray in this Arizona offense? Of course not. Of course, if it wasn't for Adam Gase, the worst head coach to ever exist on the planet, then Patricia would be the worst coach in the NFL. So, congrats to Matt Patricia on being the second worst head coach in the NFL. I don't see him dialing up a defensive scheme, even though he's supposed to be a defensive mastermind. I don't see him dialing up a defensive scheme that could stop Kyler Murray and this offense, because they couldn't stop Mitchell fucking Trubisky from scoring 3 touchdowns on them in the fourth quarter in week 1. And then, okay, the Packers are the Packers, but still, they got embarrassed by the Packers. And, yeah, you think that they're going to just figure it out against Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins? I would, like I said, man, this was kind of a sneaky upset pick for me until I really thought about it, and then really it wasn't. So, Brett has Arizona. I have Arizona. I think pretty much everybody has Arizona. That does scare me a little bit. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Detroit won this game, but they just look defensively. They look so bad, man. It hurts. Next up, Dallas and Seattle. Let's just put the heads where they need to be. Seattle. We both have Seattle winning this game. Let me say this, okay? the optimistic side of me, and if you guys have been watching this channel since its inception, subscribe to the channel, by the way. Subscribe to the channel. If you guys have been watching this channel, you know that I am just incredibly pessimistic when it comes to the Cowboys. And all my friends like to shit on me. They say, oh, you're so pessimistic. You're so pessimistic. I'm a realist when it comes to this team. I'm not a pessimist. I am a realist. This team is a disgrace year in and year fucking out. An embarrassment week in and week out. Every week it's something new. Every week they embarrass us in a new way. So, yeah, I do. I'm not high on this team. Again, I've said this multiple times throughout the week since Sunday. I'm not jumping up and down and woo after that win against the Falcons because 440-0. Okay? 440-0. That was the stat. I don't remember what it was. It was 39 points and no turnovers. Some shit like that. 440-0. The Cowboys win. And you want me to sit here and be like, yep, that's a sign of things to come. That's a sign of things to come. The defense looks horrible. And now Chidobe Awuzie is hurt for an extended period of time. Great. So who's next? Who's stepping up? The corners are already bad. You lose Cheeto. DeMarcus Lawrence is on a milk carton. I'm tired of Cowboys fans defending him. He's on a milk carton. Jalen Smith is running in quicksand. I think we've gotten 2 sacks all season. 2. Okay? Goff and the Rams do whatever they wanted to us on offense, and the Falcons do whatever they wanted to us on offense. And guess who's walking in that door on Sunday? Russell Wilson. And you want me to be rah-rah. You want me to be rah-rah. Go Cowboys. Right? If the Cowboys win this game, let me be careful with my words here. Because let me tell you what a Dallas Cowboys thing is. They go into Seattle. Who was it? Sports Illustrated had Seattle as the number 1 team in the league. Okay? I think I had them at 3. So you go into Seattle, you win. And you know what? You win semi-convincingly. And now people are saying, oh, okay, the Cowboys might have figured it out here. The Cowboys might have figured it out. They're going to get the ball rolling. And then week 4 comes, and here come the Cleveland Browns, right? The laughing stock of the NFL, the Cleveland Browns. Ha ha! The Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns shit on the Cowboys. Is that not the most Dallas Cowboys thing of all time? That is such a Dallas Cowboys thing that it honestly almost makes me want to pick them this week. That they would beat Seattle and then lose to the Browns. That is such a Dallas Cowboys move. That it almost makes me want to pick them. But I'm not going to, man. Realistically, Russell Wilson has been unstoppable against better defenses than ours. Right? Okay, maybe not Atlanta. Atlanta's not a better defense than ours. At least it shouldn't be. But the Patriots, I know they're without a bunch of guys, but he made Stephon Gilmore look like a little child. DK Metcalf and Russell Wilson made Stephon Gilmore look like a junior varsity player. And what do you think they're about to do to us? Huh? What do you think Calvin Ridley looked like Jerry Rice last week? The week before that, Robert Woods looked like Terrell Owens. It's going to be bad, man. It's going to be bad. But, again, the optimistic side of me, let me try to just paint a scenario where maybe they win. Because if they come out, fumble the ball 4 times again in the first quarter, this isn't the Falcons, man. The Seahawks will put you away. They will put you away, and not only will they put you away, but they'll step on your neck, right? They'll make sure you lose 35-0. This isn't the Falcons. The Seahawks aren't going to build a campfire around the onside kick and just sing Kumbaya with each other while they're just staring at the onside kick. The Seahawks will embarrass you, okay? If they come out and look like that, it's going to be a real ugly game. But I don't know, maybe the optimistic side of me again, maybe something clicked at halftime. They said, yo, Mike McCarthy said, yo, let's get our fucking shit together, okay? And so they went out. They played really tough in the second half. I have no issue with Dak. I know I just shit on this team. I mean, Dak has looked amazing so far this year. Zeke, honestly, probably looks the best he's ever looked. CeeDee Lamb looks like the truth. Dalton Schultz shocked the hell out of me last week. The offensive line as a whole played, surprisingly well last week. And again, this is a bad defensive line here. You see, defensively, they're ranked 32nd. They're ranked 32nd in yards given up. And, the Falcons, they got blown out by the Seahawks in week 1, but they were able to do whatever they wanted offensively for the most part. And then, Cam Newton had all day to throw on Sunday, and he had an amazing game. They just could not stop Russell Wilson. So I think that this probably is a shootout, I think that if the Cowboys really wanted to, because the Falcons and the Patriots really don't have any run game to speak of. If the Cowboys really wanted to, they could play that patented Cowboy football that we all hate, which is to give the ball to Zeke 35 times and try to get these 9-minute possessions that take an entire quarter and then end in a field goal. Usually is how those goes for the Cowboys. But if they wanted to do that, they probably could. But the way that Dak has looked, the way that our offense has looked, the way that our receiving core looks, and with how good Russ is, I don't think that you can risk playing that conservative. You're going to have to fight fire with fire against the Seahawks team. You're going to have to say, all right, offense, you guys are going to have to drop 40 again. It's just, if we're being realistic, this defense is not going to stop them. I don't see it. There's been nothing up until now. Again, we're only 2 weeks in. But up until now, there's been nothing that makes us believe or should make you believe. I know there's some crazy-ass optimistic Cowboys fans out there. I got in a Twitter argument with somebody who was like, no, DeMarcus Lawrence is, man. DeMarcus Lawrence is still top 3 pass rusher, man. You're just watching the box score. Please tell me that there's not something wrong with you mentally if you think that DeMarcus Lawrence has been a top 3 defensive end. I want you to seek help as soon as possible. DeMarcus Lawrence is on a milk carton. We don't know where he is. He's missing. Okay, but where is it? What was I even saying? Oh, yeah, defensively, there has been nothing up until now that leads me to believe that they're going to just stop Russell Wilson at any point. In fact, I would be shocked if Russell Wilson finished the game with 1 incomplete pass. I don't know if he finishes the game with a single incompletion. He might go 30 of 30 for 780 yards and 6 touchdowns and 4 rushing. I just want to be optimistic about the Cowboys for once in my life. I never am. And maybe that's just because I'm not right in the head. But this team's done nothing to deserve it. And sorry that I'm not more rah-rah about that Falcons game, man. It's just, I can't look past how bad that defense was. Really, I can't. Offensively, the four fumbles in the first quarter, I mean, that's just some crazy shit, right? That's not something that's probably ever going to happen again. That's probably a record for the Cowboys. Four fumbles in 1 quarter, you lose 3 of them. That's not something that I think is a real concern. But still, outside of that, I mean, I don't really have anything negative to say about the offense. The offensive line's scary, but the Seattle pass rush is horrendous. They're absolutely terrible. Even with all of our injuries, I don't think Dak should be too concerned for his life back there. I think that Zeke might have a good game. He's looked the best he's maybe ever looked. But defensively, I just don't know if they can stop Russ. I don't. And with that said, I'm picking the Cowboys. No, I'm just kidding. I'm picking the Seahawks. I can see it being kind of close, though. Really, I can. I just want us to look competitive, man. You know, I just want us to look competitive. And if it all comes down to, I think I talked about this during the Browns. I don't remember what game I was talking about. But if it comes down to who makes a mistake, do I think our defense forces Russell Wilson, who looks like God right now, to make a mistake? I don't. Do I think that Dak, who also looks, Dak looks like maybe a demigod right now. But if I had to pick one of those quarterbacks to make a mistake, I'd probably pick Dak. That hurts me to say, though, because Dak has looked amazing. But the Seahawks are just a better team, man. They are. Russell Wilson looks unstoppable, and you think our defense is going to be the one to do it? No chance, man. No chance. I'm rooting for us, though. Go Cowboys! We do always seem to make weird statement games against the Seahawks, though. I will say that. Okay. Sunday night, and here we go. Here are the 2 premier games. Primetime football, finally. They've got some bangers here. Sunday night football, we have the Green Bay Packers and the New Orleans Saints in New Orleans. Obviously, an important thing here, though, too. No fans for the Saints. No fans. That's really important because we know that home field advantage, especially in primetime games when everybody's been out on bourbon all night and are stumbling into the stadium, barely functioning. We all know what impact that can have on games. So no fans there is going to be it's kind of a big deal, honestly. Green Bay, 2-0. They've looked amazing. Some people think they might be the best team in football. I will not go that far. Defensively, there's still some question marks. Offensively, they've looked damn near flawless. I mean, legitimately, not really even a hole at all in their offense. We are all kind of looking like big fucking idiots. for shitting on them for not getting a wide receiver because MVS and Allen Lazard both look really good. Aaron Rodgers looks really good. Aaron Jones looks really good. LaFleur, I mean, at a certain point, you gotta give him big ups for his coaching ability because he looks like a really, really good head coach. His record's really good. I mean, they're winning games, right? They're winning games. I know you can question some of his decision making or, oh, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing this? You know, he's winning games. That's what it boils down to the most. Actually, let me see. Was Devontae Adams hurt? Didn't Devontae Adams get an injury or something? Feeling better, but unsure for Sunday night's game. Okay, so obviously at the time of recording this, that's not helpful at all. Unsure for Sunday night's game. Too early to tell if he can play. That's a pretty big deal because Devontae Adams is a top 3 receiver in the NFL. And without him, can they rely? I like MVS and Allen Lazard as 2-3 options. Is MVS hurt too? Didn't one of those two dudes get hurt too? Anyways, without those, no, I don't. Was it Lazard? But without Devontae Adams, I don't know if one of those guys can step up and be the number 1 option. I don't know why I thought one of them got hurt. Doesn't seem like they did. But from the Saints side, I was so discouraged by what I saw against the Raiders. And I kind of talked about how maybe I'll attribute that a little bit more to them just not really showing up and the Raiders wanting to get a statement win on Monday Night Football, their first game in Vegas. They're playing the Saints. You know, let's go out and get a big win because the Saints look completely dead. Like everybody outside of Kamara looked like they did not give a fuck at all to be there. But the thing that scares me the most, because those games will happen, right? Those games are inevitably going to happen at some point in the season where, especially these really good teams, where they just don't come out into their fullest. You know, we see it all the time. For the Jets, we see it every week. Drew Brees scared me. Legitimately. Just the fact that he is just so unwilling to throw the ball deep. Just so unwilling to take a shot downfield, to try and test the defenses a little bit. That worries me. It really does. I don't know if he's dealing with some kind of injury or if he's just washed at this point. And you know, last year was kind of the same thing. Last year he wasn't airing the ball deep, but they were so good at running those little short routes, those little intermediate routes. I mean, you have Michael Thomas, who's the best in the world at doing that. Saints fans get really upset for some reason when you say that. It just is what it is. I mean, he's great at running those short routes, and he has amazing hands. So he's a really good short route receiver. Nothing wrong with that at all. But last year he didn't air it out deep. And everybody kind of attested, or everyone kind of said, oh, that's just because he doesn't have the weapons outside of Michael Thomas. And again, Michael Thomas really isn't a deep ball receiver. But at least he was accurate on those short throws. And against the Raiders, man, he was missing short throws. He was making terrible reads. He threw a horrific pick. I'm a little worried. Defensively, they looked terrible too, man. They looked absolutely terrible. And again, I might just attribute that to them not showing up and the Raiders really showing up. And then them just getting out coached because Gruden sat down and said, yo, we're going to win this game. So we're going to throw everything we got at the Saints. Because they were running a lot of these little, I mean, Darren Waller was unstoppable. Absolutely unstoppable. And the Packers don't really have a giant body like that. Tight end wise, at least. Because I know Allen Lazard is massive, right? So I guess I'll say the picks. Brett and I both have the Packers. I think that they just look like the better team right now. Devontae Adams' injury scares me legitimately, and his status will have an impact on this game. But just the way that he's talking, that feels like it could be kind of coach speak, where he's like, yo, I don't know if I'm going to play, but he fully plans on playing, just trying to throw the Saints off a little bit. I got the Packers. Brent has the Packers. This should be a fun one, though. But let me say, if it gets, from what we've seen so far this season, if it comes down to a quarterback duel, it's got to be Rodgers. He's literally looked way better than Breeze. He's airing it out. He's throwing it deep. He's doing Rodgers things. And Breeze is just, dare I say, dinking and dunking. And even missing some throws on those dink and dunks. So I'm going with Rodgers. I'm going with the Pack. Brett is also going with the Packers. They look scary, dude. And it sucks because I don't like the Packers at all. But it is what it is. And now, game of the week, Monday Night Football. Woo, this is a good one. Chiefs, Ravens. NFL wasted no time. Week 3, let's go, baby. Chiefs coming off of a close overtime win against the Chargers. Ravens just have dominated everybody that they have played. The Browns, who are an okay team, and the Texans, who a lot of people think are going to be a playoff team. Who do we got? Week 1. That is the question. I'm sorry, what am I even saying? Who do we have winning this game? Week 3. We both differ. Brett is going with the Chiefs, and I am rocking with the Ravens. I think just as it stands right now, the Ravens look to be the better team, not by a lot or anything. It's only 2 weeks in. The Chiefs looked really good week 1, and they played a good Chargers team. That can't be. It's important to note that. It's not like the Chargers are the Jets. If the Chiefs had played the Jets and needed overtime to win, then okay, I'd be like, all right, what the fuck's going on? But they played a good, tough Chargers team. And the quarterback making the debut, last minute, there's always just some weird Cinderella shit when something like that happens, right? Herbert looked really good. It's just kind of like the pressure is completely off. And I think it should also be noted this. Think about the difference in play styles when you prepped all week for somebody like Tyrod Taylor, somebody who's mobile in the pocket, versus somebody like Justin Herbert, who is not that, more of a strong arm type of guy. It's a very different style of play. So we can give the Chiefs some props there. And again, the Chargers have a really good defense too. Even with Derwin James being out, they still have a really, really solid defense, and they're getting to Patrick Mahomes to get him out. But the Ravens have a really good defense. I mean, as a whole entire unit, they might have the best in the NFL, right? They beefed up that defensive line, and it's paying off already. They went out and got some linebackers. Their secondary is one of the best, if not maybe the best entire unit in the NFL. And offensively, they just have weapons everywhere. They got an amazing offensive line. They have Lamar Jackson, obviously. You have Mark Ingram. And you also had Dobbins, who didn't really do much last week. You have Mark Andrews, who, again, didn't really do much last week, but, he's an amazing player. You have Marquise Brown, who is obvious that they are making an effort to get him the ball more. This is a good one. I don't know. I'm rocking with the Ravens. I just think that the Ravens come out and make a statement, right? Because, everyone thinks that they're amazing. I think a lot of people probably have them as the best team in the NFL right now. Most people, if you ask most people, these are the 1-2 teams in the NFL. I just think that the Ravens see this as an opportunity. Lamar sees this as an opportunity. The taste is still there in people's mouths from them losing to the Titans in the divisional round last year. Everybody expected this. Everybody was certain that we were getting this in the championship game, in the conference championship game. That obviously didn't happen. I think the Ravens are sort of out to prove something. Monday Night Football, this is going to be the most watched game of the week. Maybe, though. It's on cable, so I'm not sure. But this is, everybody is going to be watching this game. And I think that it's time for them to make a statement and say, yo, Chiefs, we'll be there this year. Make no mistake. This year we will be there, and let it be known that, we're coming. And for the Chiefs, obviously they're an amazing team too. I don't know. This is a tough, impossible game to predict. Maybe the Chiefs come back and say, yo, we almost lost to the Chargers last week. We think we're a way better team than the Chargers. No offense to the Chargers. And we were disappointed in the way we played, so we're going to come out against the Ravens and play the best we can possibly play. This should be fun. I don't know. It's just a big toss-up. I don't know. That's just really what it boils down to. If we don't get this in the conference championship game, if one of these two teams slips up and we don't get this, I'm going to be so disappointed, man. I'm going to be so disappointed. This has to be the conference championship. I'm almost willing to say, just let this be the conference championship now. Whoever wins, just send them to the Super Bowl, and then let's just get on with the season. Is that fair? No, maybe not to the Steelers. But who in the AFC is even close to these two teams besides the Steelers? Maybe the Bills. Sorry, Bills fans. Maybe the Bills. So Brett's got the Chiefs. I've got the Ravens. Oh my God, that is a tough one. This is a tough week, dude. I have a bad feeling about my picks. I really do. But I had a horrific feeling about my picks last week, and they ended up being pretty good. So just should we recap who we have in these games? No, I don't want to. All right, well, I guess that's all I got. An hour and 10 minutes. I did not expect to be talking for an hour and 10 minutes. My throat hurts. God, my throat hurts. So I'm just going to sign off right now. And I don't really know ever how to end these things, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut